Welcome back to the home of all things ballroom dance. Okay, today is a final video of a little series I'm doing on the differences between the coaching styles in the ballroom dance world across different countries. So, as you know, I have taken loads of lessons from many US finalists, US champions, world finalists, world champions from a wide variety of countries. And I have noticed over the years some trends in the way coaches from certain countries approach teaching ballroom dance. Now, I am painting with a broad brush here, so straight out of the chute, I recognize that every teacher is their own unique person. So please forgive me if your coach is totally different than how I'm describing. I'm using generalities, okay? And if you've had an experience or experiences of your own from coaches from different countries and how you feel they differ from kind of your home coaches, I would love to hear that. And I guarantee our other ballroom dance friends here would as well, because I am but one person. I'm just sharing my experiences. So if you missed those previous videos, I'm going to share a link to that last video I posted, which was on Italians and coaches from Northern Europe. Okay, so next I want to hit coaches from Russia and the former Soviet republics. Full disclosure, most of the coaches I have taken from Russia and the former Soviet republics have been in international Latin. As you may know, I specialize in the standard, but like any pro coach, I started out doing everything before I really honed in on what my love was for, which was for, waltz, tango, foxtrot. But absolutely, I have taken from, really good kind of world-class level Latin coaches from these countries. And off the top of my head, I have taken from two. They were both actually Russia, from Russian coaches in the international standard. So I'm talking about a small selection pool there when I'm creating these generalities. So this may be just a cultural thing. I've never lived over there. In fact, I haven't even visited over there, competed over there. So maybe this is an overall, cultural way that they are. But in my experience, they tend to be very aggressive and not in their presentation. You must do it this way. This is wrong. Very harsh in the way they say the words. Now, perhaps this is just a language barrier and an accent. I don't know. I don't speak Russian. But I definitely in the coaching have noticed this compared to the other countries. Very little positive feedback. Even if you do something right, I found sometimes they don't even confirm that you did it right. They're just like, okay, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is horrible. I'm not throwing shade. I have learned, especially in Latin, I found them to be very helpful. But for me, coming from an American background, and I'm broadcasting to you from the United States, it's a little bit harder for me to learn that way. I don't need to go to a lesson and have someone kiss my booty and tell me, oh, that's beautiful, that's beautiful. But I do, in my opinion, learn fastest when I hear, oh, that was done the way I would like to see it. And then they move on. I don't mind if someone screams at me and says they don't like what they're seeing. Hey, I'm paying them for that. But I definitely do need some positive feedback to know that I've mastered what they said. they do describe things in a technical fashion. Now, for the ones that I have taken in the International Standard, the words they use, I have to, full disclosure, no offense intended, do not make sense to me. The Latin actually has made sense to me. And one of them, I mean, I took a lot of lessons from over several, visiting coaching sessions. And when I say session, I dropped a lot of time and money into my coaching. I wouldn't just go and take like 3 lessons. I would book as many as they would teach me in a day, 8, 10, and I would do that day after day after day and cram, and then I would go back to my home city. So I'm not just talking about a one-off lesson here, but anyway, to this day, I don't know what she was trying to teach me in these lessons. And I thought, okay, I'm the worst ballroom dancing student in the world. I'm not understanding these words and what she's saying to me. And she did speak English pretty well. And so I shared this with some Russian friends of mine. And I only shared it in a self-deprecating way. Hey, I took lessons from this champion and I don't have a clue what she was talking about. I feel so stupid and inadequate. And they just laughed at me and said, oh, we've taken from her too. We don't understand her either, and we speak Russian. So maybe it was just an individual thing, I don't know, but that definitely made me feel better. We've all been in that lesson where we dropped a ton of time and money and given 1,000%, and we leave feeling worse than when we showed up. So, hey friends, I've been there too. I do find that I'll call it the Eastern Europeans. And I apologize for grouping all of these countries together, but it's just, I have seen some commonalities in the way they teach. So I'm going to lump them together today. Forgive me. They tend to be, I hate to say this, but a little bit, for lack of a better word, arrogant in their approach. I am right, everyone else is wrong. If they do teach something that is in conflict with something else you've been taught, and you bring up, oh, I heard that it was this, generally if a student comes to me and gives me a conflicting message they've heard, I'm always respectful of that other teacher, and I do recognize that they might just be focusing on something else or come from a different school of thought. I do find that that section of the world tends to be less open to anything other than the way they were taught that works for their individual body. I'm sure this teaching style works for many people. For me, maybe not so much. Although I had very different experiences in Latin. I found all of the people from those countries, those lessons spoke to me, and I did learn a lot. I learned quickly there. So who knows? So they're quite rigid in the way they teach things, just not what I'm used to as an American. Now, I have not had the privilege, guys, I hate to admit this, of ever taking from a coach from Asia. I have spent a ton of time in Asia, actually. I mean, cumulatively, maybe 7 months of my life, but I've actually never taken with an Asian coach that grew up in, say, Japan or China or something. I would be very, very interested to hear. I sure hope we have viewers from that part of the world who could share with all of our viewers, and especially me, kind of how you feel the coaching approach is unique in kind of your country compared to coaches you've taken from elsewhere in the world. Because I'm sure, every part of the world has kind of a unique way of approaching things, and I love hearing that and learning more. I am but one person. Even if I had an unlimited budget and I had a lifetime of no sleep and just taking dance lessons, there's no way I could take from every coach in the world. Wish I could. but I can't. So I would love to hear from you if you are from any country in Asia. I don't care where it is, Thailand, yeah, could care less. Throw me a comment here. I would love to hear your perception of how the coaching in your country differs from everyone else. And again, it is okay to paint with a broad brush, as we all understand that every teacher, approaches things in a unique way. And hopefully, your teacher is approaching things in a way that you learn best. So, and I assume they are if you've stuck with ballroom dancing this long. So shout out to you for finding a good coach for you. Okay, so I once again have gone over my 10-minute mark, but I love that you've stuck with me so long. Hey, if you like this sort of content, press that like button so I know to post more topics kind of like this. Also, throw me a bone. If you have a question, please comment below. Those are always so useful to me, because I love posting kind of informational videos on things that you find interesting. I'm not here just to talk at you. I really want to share things that are of interest to you. And finally, if you have friends that might be interested in this sort of stuff, hey, please share my channel, because the more ballroom dance friends we have here, the more the way the YouTube algorithm works, it will bring more people to this channel. And the more comments I get, the easier it is for me to come up with stuff to share with you each day, because I don't want to bore you. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I look forward to seeing you in the morning with some more hot tea about the ballroom dance world. And happy dancing. Bye, friends.